20, perfecting the high register. Now, when I ask my students to play a chromatic scale going as high as they can, I usually hear notes that are not so in tune with each other and also that don't match tonally. I also hear my students play up until a high G. What I would like is to show you a way to play the chromatic scale in the high register up until the high G sharp very easily, and also with good intonation and having all the notes match tonally. Now, what I usually hear from my students at the beginning when I ask them a chromatic scale, here's what I hear. Now you can hear that the F sharp and the G don't quite match tonally. The F sharp is sort of sweet, but then the G is very powerful and ringy. Therefore, they don't match. Also, the F sharp is too flat and the G is too sharp. So what I'd like to show you is a way to play the chromatic scale very easily until a high G sharp with better intonation and better tone matching. Now, the great thing about this exercise is that you only move one finger at a time. Here is the sequence. To do this sequence, you start with E, and then of course you add the key here on the left for the F, as you already know. Then you stay on this fingering. You don't move a thing, except you add a key right here on the right side. Your right side B flat, you add this key. So now you're on E, you're doing F, and you're adding a key for F sharp. This is your new F sharp. Then you stay on this fingering, and you only move one finger. You lift the ring finger on the left hand, and this is your G. Then you lift the next finger, which is the G sharp. So here you are. You're already done. It was very easy. I'd like to show you a way to memorize those fingerings a little bit more easily. You start on your E, you add a key, another key, you lift a hole, and you lift a hole. Therefore, E, key, key, hole, hole. When you go down, hole, hole, key, key. Now these fingerings are also excellent for diatonic passages. I'm going to play a series of scales using these fingerings. Now you can find this exercise in the book, and the pattern is from A to high G in C major, in other words, no flats or no sharp. Now I will do the same pattern, but I will add one sharp in G major. And now the same pattern with one flat in F major. Now with two sharps in D major. Now you can play this exercise in all keys, adding more flats and more sharps. This will allow you to play all combinations of these fingerings. Now I would like to point out that when you do large intervals, you don't necessarily want to use these fingerings. You want more powerful fingerings. For example, if you play an arpeggio, you really would like your high G closed like this so that it has more power when you end an arpeggio. Also, technically, it will be more simple to do so. When you need notes to match, and when you're playing chromatically and diatonically, you probably want to try these fingerings. When you play large intervals, such as arpeggios and other larger intervals, you probably want to use closed fingerings. The trick is to know what to play when. The high register exercise comes in very handy in passages like the Flight of the Bumblebee by Rimsky-Korsakov. This was Secret 20, Perfecting the High Register.